Welcome to Animated Bible Stories for Growing Alive in Jesus. Let's grow together in faith. Have you ever been asked to leave everything familiar behind and go somewhere you've never seen before? No map, no clear directions, just a promise. That's exactly what happened to a man named Abram. Long ago, after the Great Tower of Babel, people spread out across the earth. Families grew into nations. One family line from Noah's son Shem eventually led to a boy born in a busy, wealthy city called Ur. That boy was Abram. Ur was full of noise, trade, and activity. Ships arrived at its ports. Merchants filled the streets. But the people there worshipped idols, statues made of wood and stone. Abram's father, Terah, was a wealthy shepherd. And as Abram grew up, he heard stories passed down through his family. Stories about Noah and the flood, about faithful Abel, about Enoch, about Adam and Eve. These weren't just old stories to Abram, they shaped his heart. He learned that God was loving, kind, faithful, and Abram decided something important. He would worship the real God, not idols. What good was a lifeless statue? An idol couldn't love him back. It couldn't guide him. It couldn't speak. So Abram talked with God. He listened. He trusted. The Bible later calls Abram something beautiful, a friend of God. Imagine that, known as God's friend. But friendship with God doesn't always mean an easy life. Sometimes it means courage. One day, God spoke to Abram with words that must have stopped him in his tracks. Leave your country, your family, and your father's house, and go to the land I will show you. Leave everything. Abram was rich. He had land, animals, servants, respect. He had a comfortable life, and God wasn't even telling him where he was going, just that he would show him. Many people would have asked questions. Where exactly? How far? What will it be like? But Abram didn't argue. Why? Because he already knew God's voice. He had spent years listening. Trust grows through relationship, and Abram trusted his friend. God didn't only give a command, he gave a promise. I will bless you, God said. I will make you into a great nation, and through you, all families of the earth will be blessed. There was just one problem. Abram and his wife Sarai had no children. Still, Abram believed. Later, on a dark and quiet night, God brought Abram outside. The sky stretched above them, black and endless, filled with stars. Look at the sky, God said. Count the stars if you can. That's how many your descendants will be. Abram looked up at the glittering lights. There were too many to count. It seemed impossible, but Abram chose to trust what God said more than what he saw, so he prepared to leave. Imagine the scene, animals being gathered, tents packed, camels loaded, servants organizing supplies, neighbors asking questions. Abram told them he was following God, and then, step by step, the caravan began moving. They traveled first to a place called Haran. Abram lived there for a time, still worshiping God, still teaching others about him. Even in new places, Abram remained the same faithful friend of God. Eventually, God told him to continue to the land of Canaan. The journey wasn't easy, long days walking, desert heat, uncertainty, but God led them. Finally, they arrived. When Abram stepped into Canaan, God spoke again. To your descendants I will give this land. Abram looked around at the fields, the trees, the open land stretching before him. And what did he do? He built an altar. He worshiped. Before building a house for himself, he built a place to honor God. That was Abram's heart. In a land filled with people who worshipped idols, Abram's family bowed to the living God. His life became a message. His faith became a light. God's promise to bless all families of the earth would one day be fulfilled through Abram's family line. Generations later, Jesus would be born from that line, bringing blessing to the whole world. But Abram didn't see all of that yet. He simply took the next step of obedience. And that's the heart of this story. Abram didn't know the destination. He didn't see the full picture, but he trusted the one who did. Sometimes God leads us in ways that feel uncertain. Sometimes we're asked to step out of comfort, to trust without knowing every detail. Like Abram, we can learn to recognize God's voice by spending time with him. We can grow in trust. We can choose faith over fear. And just like those countless stars in the sky, God's promises are bigger than we can imagine. Abram started as one man in a busy city full of idols. He became the father of a nation. But more than that, he was known as God's friend, and that is a journey worth taking. Thanks for watching. If this blessed you, please subscribe and like to help these stories reach more people with God's love.